Just want to let you lot know that if you're watching this clip on the Fozcast YouTube channel, the full episode is now available to watch exclusively on Spotify. And it's free. Come on.
Can we talk about some of the players that you played with?
Yeah,
briefly?
as long as Ben doesn't go, hang on, you dropped it. They've got a saying at this, here where we are, they've got a saying about that, they call it bruising.
Oh, really?
No, that's their saying that they have. Apparently there's a really famous Australian commentator called Bruce McAvaney. And apparently he used to turn around a lot of times and say, like, I was speaking to Ben Foster last. I was speaking to the Prime Minister 2 weeks ago. So they call it Bruce. It's a major Bruce here.
Let's Bruce him up then.
Let's
Right?
Bruce.
Bruce him up because he's played with some big boys.
Okay, so we're going to do a Villa player, 2 Villa players.
Yeah.
Well, as many Villa players as we want. But he was a little bit before our time, like prime Paul McGrath.
Oh,
right?
unbelievable.
Right. So people of our generation, like me and Ben, are just over 40, right?
Wow.
Just over 40. And
In a 40s.
we don't mention his name with like the Stams and the Ferdinands because he was probably his prime was just before us.
Sure,
Yeah.
How good?
As good as anyone. So you're talking the playing ability of someone like Gerard Piqué. Was Gerard Piqué there when you were there? Yeah. So you know how good a player he was on the ball. Incredible.
Beautiful.
Say with the let's say the bravery of maybe like that Marquinhos from Paris. Yeah. The heading ability, I don't want to say somebody from like too much of the old days, but the heading ability of anyone you can think of.
Yeah.
And the speed of like a Rio. They could get him out of problems if he need to be. And this is all with somebody who, because of his knees, could only come out to train with the boys maybe Thursday, Friday. So he would be in the gym for 2 or 3 days because of his knees.
And then turn up on
And
Saturday.
then turn up Thursday, do a little bit of light, then do some more gym walk on the Friday, and on Saturday be player of the match. But that taught me a lot as well to say, like, because I remember when I first broke into the first team proper at Villa, I had a cracked bone in my shoulder and I couldn't train. But Nigel Spinker was like really ill and I had to take a jab for the first few games. But I always took a lot of strength from seeing what Paul McGrath did. So you can do it if you really put your mind to it. It's not ideal, but that's just to describe to people like unbelievable. Like the judgment of the headers, the bravery, the reading of the game, the way he could play. And you talk about athletes. Wow, because like I said, because he couldn't train like normal
bit
players.
of a flawed genius, wasn't he?
Yeah. Did you ever see? So you played with a young Gareth Southgate. Did you?
Gate, as we call him.
The what? Sorry,
Sir Gate. Now Sir Gate. We used to call him the Gate. Yeah,
the Gate.
Call him the Gate. Yeah, he came from Crystal Palace. He came in 95-96 season. He was a midfielder at Palace, remember? Yeah, very fit. Would be up and down everywhere. Very good player with the ball because that's why Brian Little wanted. Because Brian Little, coming back to Wrexham and Phil Parkinson, Brian Little wanted to go because we'd struggled the season before. Right, we come 17th or something. Wow. We had a real struggle when Ryan Atkinson departed. We'd only won the League Cup the season before. Then it just fell apart. He wanted to go back and play a 3-5-2 or 5-3-2, whatever you want to call it. And he wanted Gareth not to be in midfield. Because he wanted to be one of the 3 centre backs, so we could play out. That was like at the beginning, outstanding. And he played so well that season. He got into the England squad, played really well in the Euros, and of course then had that penalty, the thing against Germany. So outstanding.
Was he as calm and measured back then?
He was. Yeah, he was. Ben,
we did something with him 2 weeks ago.
That's why I got on well with him. He's like you say, good balance. Yeah, really good balance.
Yin and yang.
Yeah, yin and yang type of thing. Yeah, we're close to the families. Yeah. So as well, but he was, it was a very young team. There was Ian Taylor, Mark Draper, Tommy Johnson, Alan Wright, Gary Charles. I mentioned Hugo before, Steve Staunton, Dean Saunders were sort of going. Yorkie, we got a guy from Serbia called Savo Milosevic. A lot of people gave him stick, but he was, we won something with him. He was exceptional. Neil Lamptey was there when I first went there. When I first went there. But that's another cautionary tale as well. I mean, under 16s, under 19s, he was player of the tournament in the World Youth Championships. Also, another thing as well, England, different story because all of like I said to you, a lot of teams on the continent will say to their best player, which normally was him, go and do your stuff, then recover and come back. But in England, very few managers go do your stuff, and we know with Giggsy, now you're going to get back and do your defensive work as well. That wasn't really, in his game. Yeah.
Just quickly.
But the gate. That's what we call him, the gate.
We were talking about it off camera, I think it was, earlier on. Just very quickly, because we've got a few more to talk about. Is a sweet left foot better than a sweet right foot?
Yeah.
100%.
Why?
100%.
Because we're biased. We're lefty.
We're both lefties.
No, I just think it looks different, that's all. But even with left-handed batsmen, I was a right-handed. What about batsmen?
Right-handed.
Yeah, same. Yeah, but left-handed, remember David Gower?
Yeah.
It was just looked so effortless, like just Brian Lara, the same. Yeah. Yeah, I just think there's something about lefties. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. It is.
Yeah.
It's give me a right winger, left winger. I want to see that left foot get wrapped around it.
All the sweetest left footers are like Steve Staunton had a sweet one.
He was sweet. Yeah. Stan the man. Yeah.
What we saying, Fozzie? Should we do some?
Do a couple Man United boys then. They were only kind of young kids at the time, weren't they? So Paul Scholes.
Scholesy was an exceptional player. He was very fortunate, in my opinion, to play with someone like Roy Keane.
Yeah.
Roy Keane was sort of much underrated as a player. He had more of that hard man image, but as you know, he's a much better player than people give him credit for. I think Scholesy, for a part of his career, was people who were in charge of him were in between where he should be in midfield or he should be in that number 10 position. Mm-hmm. But I think when he realised and he got the right partner with him in midfield, he was far better in midfield. Yeah. Thought he should have done a little bit more for England, really. Other than that, he was fine. I sit next to him and Phil Neville. Yeah. So that was okay. He used to make me look good.
Was there much banter in the United changing room?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there used to be anyway. I don't know about you. How long was Keane there when you were there?
For about a week.
Oh, that was that.
Yeah, he was.
I don't know if you saw. It was on an Australian podcast the other day. There was a guy, have a look. I'll find it to you and I'll text you. So there was a real Australian hard man who used to play rugby league, Willie Mason, like hard as nails.
Oh, big unit,
massive,
shoulders like that.
And it was on his podcast, and he said that they'd gone down. I don't know, so you might have been there. The Australian rugby league team had visited.
I don't remember.
All right, whatever. They visited Carrington, and he said that the Australian rugby league coach, I think he said at the time, was Wayne Bennett, was talking with Fergie, and we'd just gone into the gym just to look at. He goes, and Willie Mason's gone. Roy Keane was there on the bike because he was injured. And he said he was going on for about half an hour about the young players and they're not doing, you know, some of them are driving Lamborghinis and not earned and they've got no respect. They're like, he said he was just going, and he goes, anyway, apparently that afternoon there was some type of incident. He goes, next day we saw in the papers he left the club. That's what he said. So his point was, he was, because you know what Keano's like when he starts spitting chips. Yeah. He said he continued that sort of
into the training
toxic
session,
thing into the train to whatever incident happened afterwards. I think it was a big incident.
It was with that Carlos Queiroz, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was, and because of what happened on Man U TVs, they got walloped by Middlesbrough or something.
But he's not obviously clearly he's not shrinking violet. But when you said earlier on about Rio kind of going toe to toe, you also said that he had to go. Is it fair to say grovelling the next day? Back into the office?
Rio.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rio. I don't know if he would have gone grovelling.
No, sorry, that's the wrong word.
It was very obvious that you just don't do that kind of thing.
But Roy Keane's not going to do that, is he?
Roy Keane didn't do that. Roy Keane was one guy that would. But it got to that point there where he had to leave the club.
Yeah, but that's the end of him, isn't it?
Because it was untenable. He had fallen out so badly with Carlos Queiroz.
100%. And I don't know how you found Carlos, but Carlos Queiroz to me, I mean, there was a lot of the boys used to say to me, about him.
Yeah.
But because I remember I first met him when he was Portuguese youth team manager in 91, would you believe? So I've known him for a long time. And I saw him here when he was Iran's manager in the Asian Cup. I sat down with him and all that. I always found him a really nice man. Yeah. And a massive student of football.
Yeah, he was.
Really,
he loved it, didn't he?
Yeah. And the way, he, as you know, with Fergie, Fergie doesn't get involved in much of the detail stuff. The way he designed that
Carlos
team,
would be the one coaching.
He did, didn't he? He did.
Sure.
And look at the success after that. Like I said, when Arsenal had the Invincibles, Chelsea had come in. He designed all that. Yeah. So, but that's that Willie Mason was telling that story. That's what was funny enough. Is that I was looking up before I thought, I wonder.
And then later that day,
he kept that on. He goes, he was basically telling us, we didn't even know him, right? He's going, this one and that one and this one. There you go.
Thanks everybody for watching. We hope you enjoyed this clip of the Fozcast. If you would like to watch the full episode, it is now available exclusively on Spotify for free.